Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be taking a Bodark tool parang, and I'm going to show you how I modify it right out of the box. So earlier today I did an unboxing video on a series of parangs from Bodark tool. Now there are 3 parangs that they carry. These are all forged in Malaysia. So they're all imported into Texas from Malaysia. And I went over the whole parang, all 3 of the different styles. And it was just an initial impression. I just literally had opened the box up and I knew there were certain things I was going to modify and change, so I wanted to capture the original parang on video. If this is the kind of thing you like to see, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me at Instagram and Facebook at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at Outdoorcore.com. So if this kind of tool interests you, stick around to the end of the video and I will give you a discount code for 15% off. So this is the heavy parang. This one's got about a 14-inch recurve blade to it. There's the farmer parang as well. This is about a 9.5-inch blade. And the brush parang is like 20 inches. So this thing's quite a bit longer. And they all share the exact same handle. And I went over this in video the first time. And where the mold is, there's just a slight little edge. This is like a plastic polymer kind of handle. I'm not sure what this material is. It's okay. The bird's head actually holds in your hand fairly well. I kind of like this so far. But because this is a medium market, this is not in the low end. So this isn't competing against the super inexpensive Tramontinas. And this is definitely not competing against the higher end custom machetes and parangs. So there are some corners that are going to be cut with this. And to get a more inexpensive blade in your hands as quick as possible, you're going to have to do some of these things yourself. So today I'm just going to show you the modifications I did to this handle. And I was kind of surprised how easy this cleaned up. It just took a few minutes. So before I did them all, I thought I would stop and show you exactly how I did it so you can make your new parangs as cool as my parangs. So here's a pretty good shot of this plastic handle, and this ferrule is just pressed on and then held in place with a pin. And we can kind of see, you can kind of see that mold mark. So I used a foam block sander for this, and I was kind of surprised how quickly this came out. This little edge right here, just with a little bit of sanding, takes it all the way down to practically nothing. Now the back edge where this starts to curve down, this took a little bit more work, and I actually switched to a power tool for this part of the job. So if you've got an oscillating sander of any type, this is going to make this job a whole lot faster. This interior edge right here, if you had just sandpaper, I would do a shoe shine with it, so I would just rub this back and forth. This top edge, I only rubbed it just a few times with that block sander, and it made a big difference already. You can see that the high part's knocked off. Back in here, this is a little heavier. This is where I kind of preferred and was happy to have the power sander. So none of this is needed. As I mentioned, I took it right out of the box, went over and started swinging away, and I was cutting through brush like it wasn't even there. Me being who I am, I took one and I started to modify this handle a little bit, and I tried to refine it, and it worked out so darn well. I'm going to do all of them like this. So we can see how smooth this is now. It almost polishes it. And this is a softer plastic, so I would not go with this with a high-speed belt sander at all. This orbital sander or a vibrator sander, something like that, would be about ideal. Now the spot I did not do is back in here, and this is one of the few spots that I would consider this to be mandatory, because this is what's kind of attaching it to your hand. So I'm just taking the pad, I'm just rolling it up and hitting this by hand. So the working part of this handle feels really good. Now this is not overly smooth where it's going to slip out of my hand because we've got these grooves cut into it. And I went over these where this eye piece is, This kind of has a little bit of a raised plastic edge too. It didn't really hit my hand, so I didn't do the first one that way, but it's probably just a little better idea to go ahead and knock all the edges off when you've got it viced up. So as far as function, we're done, but in reality, we've got these little plastic edges that got rolled up. And what I did with mine is I just took a knife and then I just peeled this up with a knife. Here's the other side, so I've just got these little edges here and here. So this wasn't needed, but it kind of bugged me that it was there, and we can see how smooth that is now. But you are removing material, so keep that in mind. So if you go at this with a real heavy 60 grit sandpaper, you are going to drastically modify this handle. So I didn't go any lower than 120. I started at 120. And 180, 220, something in that range for a finish is going to be just fine. Go slow. If you're using a power tool, go super slow. You do not want to overly modify this handle until you get to use it a little bit. All right, I got stuff to chop and stab, so I got no more time for this. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.